Hello everyone and welcome. In today's Ask Ahead Q&A, I'm excited to answer your pressing questions about IT Autopilot together with the Atera leadership team. Gentlemen, welcome.
Great to be here, Muna.
Hi, Mona.
Hello. And I want to say a big thank you to those of you who submitted questions in advance. We will be addressing those right now. And of course, I do invite you, please keep typing your questions. We have a team in the back end that will be addressing those live. But before we dive in, Oshri, I think congratulations are in order. You have been recognized by Channel Insider as one of the top 50 AI leaders in the channel. That's incredible. So I do want to ask you, with so many leaders like NVIDIA, IBM, and Microsoft in this AI space, what differentiates Atera?
So I would like to answer with a metaphor. Think of the big players like Microsoft, NVIDIA, OpenAI, and all those big players as the electricity. And of course, electricity is essential. But in Atera, we invented the air conditioning, which in the hot summer, as you know, is also essential. So it won't work without the electricity, but you really need the air conditioning in order to work in the hot summer. So this is exactly what we did in the IT industry. We reinvented the IT, their way to work with IT Autopilot. We are taking out the mundane task. We are giving them time to deal with tech debt, security, infrastructure, and the important thing. And we are taking out all the boring stuff. And I think that's the main difference.
Thank you for that. I love the metaphor. The next time I turn on my air conditioning, I'll be thinking about Atera's IT Autopilot for sure. Tal, to you. So we officially launched IT Autopilot back in May 2025. Congratulations. Can you walk us through the process leading up to the launch? Specifically, what kind of feedback did your team look for as you worked with customers and partners?
So it was an amazing journey, and actually this journey started like 5 years ago. I think when Oshri had this idea that we need to automate everything. Everything needs to be AI driven. All of IT, and we set up this task force that started working on this. Unfortunately, the technology wasn't there yet. So after a while, we abandoned the project. But then about 3 years ago, we got an invitation from Microsoft to this thing, called OpenAI, ChatGPT, LLM. We didn't exactly know what it was, but we joined it, and we haven't looked back since. We started developing. It was kind of like we had our Oshri's vision. We had the tools to make it happen. So we started working on this immediately. And it was a long road, a lot of ups and downs. We had amazing design partners that provided feedback. So maybe a shout out to all those amazing design partners that helped us out so much is in order here. But we kind of took the feedback, we improved the product. It took a lot of time, but in May we reached a point where we said, no, this is GA. And we launched it, and we couldn't be more proud.
Amazing. And this is a patented technology. Atera, obviously, IT Autopilot comes after we already launched AI Copilot. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
So naturally, we have a multi-layer product that provides answer both to the end user, to the employees, and to the technicians. So coming into this, we created several patents, even from our time when we started working on this beforehand. But we started off with the technician side, so we released Copilot, which helps the technicians solve very, very quickly a lot of annoying issues that would take them a lot of time. So just working with the Copilot will help them get the information that they need, summaries, create scripts, create OIDs for SNMP, for example, and really makes them streamlines their work. And then, we connected with the autopilot so that, if you have, let's say, a ticket that's opened by an employee, and the autopilot is not able to solve it either because, this is something that it's not allowed for the autopilot to do. For example, to change their group on the Active Directory, for example. But what it could do is, create this operation for the technician to just click a button and solve the situation. So if the technician think that this user needs to be in another group, then just click the button and that's done. So this is as opposed to, logging out, going to the Active Directory. Maybe you have permissions, maybe you don't, and then you need to go in, and then it's a lot of hustle. So.
Great. So we have a great duo. We have the AI personal technician for the employee, and we have the AI technician that's the assistant for the technician, in essence. And I love that you brought up the guardrails because, Oshri, that is the most common question that we get. Security and AI, how do those go together? So I'd love to hear from you. What steps has Atera taken to ensure that IT Autopilot keeps both the customer data secure and, of course, the environment and keeping our customers compliant?
So, Muna, as you know, this is the major part of the development day to day. We are investing a lot on security and privacy. We are working closely with Microsoft on responsible AI principles. We are following all the best practices. We are not doing training. We are using models that don't train on customers' data. We have risk-free actions running only. So as Tal mentioned, if it's not allowed for the AI to do, it will escalate it to a human being. This is a mechanism that we worked very hard on doing it. And we, of course, have two-factor authentication for sensitive actions, and we have a lot of mechanisms in place to make the system secured and compliant.
Thank you for that. And I think this is a great opportunity to ask our team that's sitting in the back office if you can put a link to Atera's AI security and the security principles that you mentioned. Thank you for that. Back to you, Tal. There is a question. We saw demos earlier from the team, and we explored some common IT Autopilot use cases. Beyond those that we just saw, are there specific scenarios where you consistently see higher resolution rates out of the box, or does it really depend on the organization and the maturity of the organization?
So, I would start with that, with the fact that autopilot is unlike a lot of other, AI tools out there, which are workflow based. So with workflow based AI tools, what you have a workflow, and then you put AI in each one of the boxes of the workflow, but the workflow itself is not AI. And the autopilot is kind of a thinking brain. So it creates the workflow as it goes. So it responds to the customer responses and rethinks the workflow each time that it gets a response or diagnostics or a result from an action, and then thinks of the next step, and that makes it so robust and handling varying requests and varying domains. So it's very, very robust. And at the basic level, it answers a lot of questions. Having said that, naturally, even the AI needs some context and it needs some customization, as a human would. So if you take into example, let's take the electricity that Oshri talked about earlier, and let's say that this customer has a software called electricity. And then you have a ticket, someone opens up the ticket that says electricity stopped working. So naturally, if you don't have that context, if you're an AI, if you're human, you'd think that there's no more lights and there's no more air conditioning. But if you have the context, you know that this is the software that you use, and that if it stopped working and you open an IT ticket, then it means that this software is stuck. And the AI needs that. It needs that as well. So we provide various means of customizing the AI to those use cases and to those contexts. This expands more the capability of the autopilot. But of course, autopilot, out of the box is very good for a lot of use cases, such as reset password or fixing printing issues, many other use cases as well.
So it's great that you bring up the password resets, because one of the common questions that we got from the audience, Oshri, to you. So IT Autopilot, it's been great at resetting passwords. Can you tell us if it supports local domain and even in hybrid environments?
Yes. So we do support local users, domain users, Azure AD users, Okta, Google, and we are planning adding more and more integrations out of the box into IT Autopilot. And of course, we have the amazing cloud actions where you can extend even beyond that. So yes, we do support all of the above and more.
That's good.
I would say, I would add also that, if you have a use case for another system that you use, it's very easy for us to do the integration. We can add it as part of the project. It doesn't even need to be there before you sign up.
Okay, so it's a good thing that you talk about integrations, because there is a question here about, can Autopilot potentially integrate with email protection services? And what happens if I have a knowledge base system outside of Atera? How does that work?
So we've built Cloud Actions, which is a way with low code to integrate to any system that have API. And we've added some AI magic on top of that. So you can just describe, the use case. I want to integrate with system X in case of Y, and the AI will do all the hard work for you.
Great. And I think this is a good opportunity to remind the audience that we do have 2 breakout sessions at the end of today that will focus specifically on the integrations and fitting IT Autopilot into your environment. So stay tuned for that. I do want to go back to you, Tal. So from your perspective, who are the best suited clients for a solution like IT Autopilot, and maybe focus between MSPs versus a corporate internal IT department?
Yeah, so it's a very good question, and we're debating this question ourselves all the time. The short answer is everyone. But if we want to focus on a group, then we usually see IT teams that are overwhelmed with troubleshooting and employees knocking on their doors, giving them phone calls, the works. And we see that it's very, very hard for them because they're unable to do the infrastructure work that they need to do or focus on strategy. So those teams are usually, best suited for installing Autopilot. But to your question, if I differentiate between the different groups, so maybe let's start with MSPs. I would say that MSPs are characterized by being early adopters. We see that all the time, and there's a reason for that. It's very hard as an MSP to make sure that your cost structure is very well aligned, and it's very hard to recruit people. So they need to think hard before recruiting someone, and therefore they're trying to get all the leverage that they can have in order to make this work. So Autopilot is very, very well suited for them. If once you put Autopilot in the system, it alleviates all this load, and it allows them to have the cost structure right, and also focus on activities that benefits their customers as well, such as infrastructure upgrade, etc.
Muna, maybe I will just add to that if you need to provide 24/7 support, Autopilot is a lifesaver. And if you need to shorten your SLA times, Autopilot.
Right, true. And maybe it's especially true for MSPs, I would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think that's great also for teams that have distributed sites or that need to support offices across the globe. So no matter what you do, you're not going to have potentially that 24/7 instant support. Oshri, another question that came up is IT Autopilot best suited to work exclusively with the Atera platform, or if I do have an ITSM, another ticketing system, or IT systems? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So first, IT Autopilot works best with Atera. As Tal mentioned, when the ticket being escalated to a human being, it's just a click of a button in Copilot and all the magic will happen. But having said that, we do support integrations with any other system that has an API, obviously. And we recently helped one of our customers to integrate with ServiceNow, but we can do that with any system. Just give us a support ticket and we'll help you do that.
Any system with an API.
Yes, exactly.
And Tal, please remind us, basically submitting tickets to IT Autopilot, is that through an app? Is that through a portal?
So we provide various means of opening a ticket. You have, of course, we provide a portal that you can use, but we also try to be where the customers are, where the employees are. So we have a Teams integration. You can open up through Teams. We have Slack integration. We have WhatsApp that you can open this through, and of course, email. A lot of channels.
I want to go back to you, Tal. If there's one thing that you want IT teams that are joining us today to take away from IT Autopilot, what would that be?
That's a great question because there are so many things out there. But I would say that if there's one thing is the fact that Atera runs on your device and it's able to diagnose and run remediating actions on the device. So it's totally different from any other AI system out there. It's kind of like going to the doctor and have the doctor diagnose you in real time, having the blood test and physical exam and CT and whatever, and then giving you the medicine and you take the medicine, or there's a some kind of surgery intervention that is done immediately. And the other side of the comparison is to maybe Googling your symptoms or even ChatGPTing your symptoms. It's about the equivalent. It's so different. In Atera, we don't just suggest, we act.
Oshri, I can't help but ask, we'd love to hear what's happening in the CTO office. I know you guys are always working on new things. So if you can share what's coming next in IT Autopilot, would be great.
Muna, you know that I can't expose what we are doing. We are working on crazy stuff right now, but I have to give you something. So I mentioned we are rolling out the AI integrations, which means you can just describe what you want, and the AI will do the integration for you. We are rolling out playbooks and custom instructions for the AI. Think of it as onboarding the AI technician. So you just give it all your data and your information about how you work in the company, and the AI will follow. We have amazing enhancements in Copilot. Copilot can automatically set fields in automation, so give it a try. And the rest of the stuff I can't expose right now, but stay tuned.
Thank you for that, gentlemen. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure interviewing you today. Great to have you with us.
Thanks, Muna, and thanks the audience.
Thank you to our audience. Thank you for submitting the questions, and please stay tuned for our next session.